New location unlocked. Or rather, new old location unlocked? Hey Dragonlings, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Skye. I'm a fantasy author who typically writes paranormal romance under the name St. Hegyes, and this is the start of another vlog. We're in the library, which is a hot mess. And you can't even see 90% of the hot mess. But for those who are unaware, the library is an extension off the main house that was built many years later, and it has no ventilation. It has an AC unit, window unit, but there's no heat. So it usually tends to get closed off during the wintertime, and it doesn't get used, but this is technically my office. And now that it's warming up outside, I started cleaning it out yesterday. It's been a dumping ground for the past several months, so it's disgusting and gross, and it's become a dumping ground for not only just random things in our house, but also for like the boxes, because we were planning on moving in like mid-July. So it became the place where we basically dumped all the boxes we were bringing home. And so it's a mess. It's a mess. And until yesterday, my desk was covered. I did not take a before picture because I was not going to show you the disaster my desk had become. And it's still a disaster because what you see is the cleanest this desk is. Everything else is still gross and dirty. I'm still working on cleaning it up, but we're getting there slowly but surely. I have cleaned up enough that I brought my laptop out here, and I have my journal with my task list. Cleaning the library was not on my task list this week. I need to, yeah, that was not on my list of tasks to do this week. However, I do need to start getting stuff done because we don't necessarily need to start packing anything because the probability of us moving this year is very slim. We just do not have the finances. We would have if I'd still been working, but since I am not working, we do not have the finances to move. Especially now that gas has basically gone up $2 since we said we were going to move. $2.50 actually. It's almost $5 a gallon here. But with all that being said, I do need to still clean up because we need to declutter the entire house. We need to get it clean enough that we can start actively like cleaning it again, like on a regular basis, as far as just like regular maintenance, vacuuming, dusting, blah, blah, blah. And because it's become a clusterfuck of just stuff piled everywhere, including boxes, it's really hard to actually clean the house. So need to get that taken care of. But the library was also supposed to be like our staging area for packed boxes and stuff. And it's right now there's no way it could be. So I am slowly cleaning up the desk area. I will probably finish that up today. And the reason I wanted to clean off the desk area, the reason that became my task yesterday when I really didn't need to do it and hadn't planned on it, is because of the fact that Justin works nights. Not night. Whoa, no he doesn't. Justin works earlier on the weekend. So he goes to bed earlier on the weekend because he's supposed to be at work at 7 a.m. versus 8:30 on the weekends. 8:30, 9 o'clock during the week. And because of that, he goes to bed. But I stream late at night. So one of the ways we're combating that is I need to be out of there so he can go to sleep. And it's more because of the fact that when he snores, he sounds like a freight train than anything else. But yeah, I need to be out of there, and I'm tired of working in my kitchen. I'm not as productive there. There's been some videos that I've watched recently that talked about how you associate certain rooms with certain things, and the kitchen is for like family gatherings, discussions, talks, and cooking. Like it's not, and gaming, board games kind of thing, family D&D nights and stuff like that. It's not meant for writing. And so it's really hard for me to be productive in there. And so where I am actually most productive is the library because it's my own little space. And I can work in here. However, because it's become a dumping ground, it's gross and it's disgusting. So we've got to clean it up. I am slowly working on cleaning up my desk. The other thing is that we're having a 12-hour marathon. Me and Stephanie are having a 12-hour marathon this weekend, so I need to prep for that. The way we've done this in the past is that I move my gaming computer back and forth between the library and my room during the winter months. Since there's no heating in the library, we move it to my room. And then during the spring, summer, fall months, it comes back out here. I was really hoping I wouldn't have to move it again this year. And I really don't want to. But I think I'm going to have to. Because the computer chair that's behind me, that I bought it really cheap, so that I didn't have to move my chair back and forth, because my chair is big and bulky. The one that's my gaming chair. However, I bought that one because it was cheap and it was listed as an ergonomic chair. However, the seat cushion is one of those that's just like a slip cover over top a hard plastic piece. And every time I shift, it moves too. So I'm like, it's really fucking annoying. The seat actually isn't big enough for my bum. I'm actually sitting on a fold-out chair that has a bigger seat. And it's not even that much bigger, but it is a bigger seat than that one. So that's fun. But again, there's not enough space for me to be rolling the gaming chair back and forth, especially with how cluttered this room has gotten over the past couple months. I apologize if you can hear Jester barking. I have no idea what she's barking at, other than something outside. So yeah, that's where we are at the moment. I'm going to be finishing cleaning up this room. I am probably, I don't want to, moving my gaming computer back in here, which means I'll have my gaming chair in here, which means I'll have a semi-permanent setup until wintertime again. As far as the bookshelves go, the reason they're a mess, that one is mainly cleared off because a couple years ago we had a bad rainstorm and there was rain leaking through the roof and it was getting books wet. So we pulled all the books off the shelf and packaged them up already. That was even before we had decided to move. We had packaged them up in a tub until we could figure out what we were going to do with them. And now they're packed in boxes because we had decided we were going to move. But I've even started like clearing off the other shelves for that same reason, like in preparation for moving. Yeah, that's where we currently stand. That's what we're doing. This was not on my list of tasks to do this week, so it's just slow going. It's slow going. But yeah. I guess I'm going to get back to work and finish clearing off this desk. I got a lot of things to clear off and a lot of things to sort and put away and get rid of and all that fun jazz. So let's get started. No, you will not see any of the cleaning montage because like I said, this room is just, it's plain disgusting. Yeah, I'll check in with you guys later. This is my current desk setup in the L-shaped desk. It's a work in progress, but this is how I have it set up currently. I did finish cleaning off this side for the most part. I think what I want to do is I want to put the desktop there. Actually, I really want the desktop here so that when I'm filming, this is my background. And I will hang up my calendar in here. I don't know. I have to figure out. I do have those posts because I used to have stuff hanging up in here anyways. Like that is where I used to hang up my Kanban board. So that is where my Kanban board would go. But I think because I do most of my streaming from my desktop, you can kind of see how messy this room is still. But I think I want my desktop here. However, I worry about the damn cats and the dog knocking shit over. And so like I'm scared. I've always put my desktop here or even like right there so that the monitors would be against a wall. So I'm scared to put them here because they won't have anything to brace them if something happens. Do I think anything's going to happen? No, but I also know that I myself am accident prone and I have animals. Ignore that empty can of soda. That's the one I'm currently drinking. I was too lazy to get up until now. But I don't know how I want to organize this. I really do think I'm going to end up bringing my desktop out of here, even though I didn't really want to move it again. I just, I don't want to do things. And that's currently basically my dump pile of things that still need to be organized and put away. But it smells lovely in here. That one's called apple spice. Yay. Alright, here it is. Here is my desk setup. I've got the desktop facing the mess. It's great. It's fantastic. I've gotten all my stuff in here that I want so far. I might add some more, but it's my Shrine to Bulbasaur. My Balthier and Fran card. And behind them is my emotional support dumpster fire and my little moon that my husband got me during our North Carolina trip. And then the rose I got for myself, it lights up. So, there's that. love my mouse pad. That's actually a, for anyone who doesn't know, Magic the Gathering is a card game that you can play, and that's a mat for that actually, but I use it as a keyboard mouse pad. This corner is still kind of screwed up. There's an extra Pepsi for me to drink. My photo printer that I've been using for journaling. That's my jar for my Kanban board, which we'll see in a minute. This is still a mess right here. We're going to ignore that. That's going to be set up very different, including some of that stuff. We'll get to that when I get it set up. So, to be fixed. Cord management sucks. So there's my cell phone stand and my laptop set up in front of the window with my keyboard. I'm actually getting a new one. It should be here tomorrow because the keys are sticking on that. I finally just broke down and I was like, screw it, let's get a new one. I've got some money that I can do so with. My candle, and then my washi tape. The washi tape stand may disappear. I'm not using washi tape. I have a couple people I can send washi tape to, so I may just send them to them. But some of it's to the point where it's like older because I haven't used it up, so that it doesn't work very well. But if I get rid of the washi tape, I will keep those stands and I will use them for something else. Probably for like notebook management. I need to see if my that's my 5-year planner right there. It's like a regular notebook size. So it's the 8.5 by 11. I need to see if that'll fit in that drawer, those drawers, because if it will, I'll continue using those drawers even if I don't have any washi tape. And then over on the wall is my Kanban board. Of course, as I finish up tasks, I drop them in the jar. So there we go. That's what it's set up for like right now. My keyboard pulls out obviously to set in front of here when I'm working, but I was just doing some 5-year planning stuff, planning projects, so it's put away for now. But yeah, that's what I'm working on. That's how I'm working. The little figurine is a 3D printed unicorn. Yeah. The more 3D printed items I get, the less I like the 3D printed items, and I'm just like, please stop getting me 3D printed items. But those were like a stocking stuffer in our stockings this year. And I've got a little anglerfish too. I need to bring him out. That's my skeleton Bob. Anyone who watched my vlogs last year will remember Bob, my dragon that is attached to my light. I finally got my light up. I did that just a few minutes ago, but my dragon doesn't have a name, or if I did name, I actually think I have a name picked out for him, so we might not need a name, but he might be Nagorix. So, to be announced, but he doesn't have a name yet. My unicorn doesn't have a name yet. Bulbasaurs are always Bulbasaur. I don't name my Pokemon. And then that's Bob the skeleton. So, but yeah, that's my setup right now. That's what it's looking like. I do gaming and streaming here, writing on my laptop. We're good to go. It's looking good. I'm liking it so far. Do I have a ways to go? Yes. Do I like it so far? Yes. So, more to come. Okay, we have done our final setup of the desk. I've probably given you a desk tour. I'm sorry if my hair is crazy. Anyways, oh god. There we go. I fixed it. Okay. Hi everyone. So this weekend we did the 12-hour marathon. Almost said 7-day book challenge. We did the 12-hour marathon. My goal was to write chapters 1 through 5 of Sultry Solstices number 5 beans. Sultry Solstices 5, which is called Isolated Tranquil. By the time I got to chapter 8, I had finished the story. So there is a pacing issue. And part of me wants to say it's because of how fast I drafted. Part of me wants to say it's just because like I was trying to fit in so much stuff that I was possibly like skipping things that I needed. And actually like thinking back, I'm like, this is just moving too fast. There's some things I need to flesh out some more. And I think there's a couple of scenes I need to add in as well, and I might need to drop a couple of scenes that I kind of have and use them in a different story. We'll see. But the thing is that I did write those 5 chapters. I got, what was my word count total? Hold on. I got 8,694 words during the 12-hour marathon. So the original plan for the 12-hour marathon is I was going to do the first stream of 6 hours, and then we were going to take an hour break, and then we were going to head on over to Stephanie's channel for the second 6 hours. That did not end up happening, which is fine. I ended up streaming the whole thing. Stephanie had an event that she went to in the morning, and then by the time she got home, her internet was out, and they were doing like repairs and stuff on stuff. So because of her internet going out, I just streamed the entire thing. And what we did is I just set a hour-long timer that was supposed to be during our break, and then we continued on from there. So it was like a 13-hour stream, which worked out beautifully because I got almost 9,000 words done. And I did that across 17 sprints. There were a couple of sprints where I didn't write at all. There were a couple of sprints where I didn't get as many words because I was distracted and doing other things. And I was really pleased with what I did accomplish. So I'm not complaining. And then on Sunday, I finished up, today I finished up the rest of the story until I got to the end of it. So that all I had was the epilogue left. And again, I know the pacing's off, so it's like 8 chapters instead of 9. Every story in this series has been 9 chapters plus an epilogue. And with the first chapter and the 9th chapter being from the male love interest perspective, and then 2 through 8 being from the female love interest perspective, and then the epilogue being in the perspective of the character who's going to be the lead character of the next story. So I got all the way up to chapter 8, and I finished the story, and I was like, oh, I don't even have enough here to do the love interest perspective, because the final scene I wrote, I was like, I want this to be in his perspective. I just wrote it in the wrong character's perspective, which was when I realized that I did too fast pacing. So that's where we stand right now. I'm calling it finished, so which means I finished that draft in 2 days, which was my plan. My entire plan was to finish it Saturday, Sunday. So it's done. I'm going to move on to story 6 next. I'm calling my 12-hour marathon a huge success because I accomplished exactly what I wanted to accomplish. I did lots of things. Pat me on the back. I'm so proud of myself. Woo! And now we're going to move on to next week. So I will chat with you guys next week about what the plan is, what we're doing moving forward. And yeah, I'll just... I'm so excited. I accomplished another 12-hour marathon. 12-hour marathons have been like a mixed bag. Because I was working night shift, we used to do them in the evening. So they started at 6 p.m. and ended at like 6 a.m. Or no, 7 a.m. Mountain Time. All of that was like Mountain Time. But this time we tried it during the day because we are not working. And I think actually for right now, that's going to continue being the plan because of the fact that it's not that it worked better. It's just that we're currently on day shifts. Because I'm not working, I am on a day shift, not a night shift. And so yeah, I think we're going to continue doing that with the 12-hour marathons moving forward. The next 12-hour marathon will actually be at the tail end of our 7-day book challenge. So it's going to be at the end of the June. The 7-day book challenge is the 22nd through the 28th. And our 12-hour marathon will run the 27th and the 28th. And again, the same schedule. We're going to start at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. Go for 6 hours on one of our 2 channels, take an hour break, skip over to the other person's channel, and do the other 6 hours to finish up our marathon. That's the plan for right now. Again, that may change depending on our work schedules and stuff like that. So more to come in the future. I will definitely have posts going up before we go live and stuff like that. But yeah, overall, I am very pleased with how the 12-hour marathon went. I can't say anything bad about it, and I'm excited for the next one. And by then, I will have these stories finished, at least the first draft. And I'm honestly hoping I'll have most of the second drafts and ready for like beta readers by then too. So I don't know what story I'm going to work on next month, but for the 7-day book challenge or for the 12-hour marathon, but I've got high hopes for some projects to work on. So that's part of the reason I had my 5-year planner out and planning some things, because I got to plan some projects. Because we're coming near the end of this series, and the series starts publishing in June. I'm on schedule to finish the first draft by the end of the month, and as long as I do that, that is the plan, to start publishing them in June. But more of that to come. For now, I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to wrap up this vlog. I should have wrapped it up yesterday, but I needed another day to digest the final results of the 7-day book challenge and finishing up draft 5. So here we are. Anyways, I will see you all next week. Bye, Dragonlings.
There's a beaver out there.
That's a beaver in the river. Just living his best life.
We don't see one of those up here often.
And my phone sucks, so I'm not getting good pictures, but that's okay.